Today, we're talking about a massive shift in how businesses get the answers they need to build great products. It's kind of like a classic showdown. You've got the established, heavyweight consultant in one corner, and in the other, the super fast, agile AI challenger. This is a tale of two very different research tools. You know that feeling, right? If you're a product manager or a founder, you live with this. You've got a huge decision on your plate, one that could literally define the next 6 months of work, but you're not totally sure what your users really want. So are you just taking a shot in the dark? It's a huge risk, and it's a problem that companies have been trying to solve forever. For the longest time, the answer was what we'll call the old way. You bring in a big-name strategy consulting firm. You know the ones. They come with massive reports and, well, even bigger price tags. But now, there's a new way popping up, AI-powered user research that promises to get insights directly to your team, fast. So let's really see how they stack up against each other. Okay, let's dive right into the showdown. We're going to start with the most dramatic differences, the three things that are totally changing the game for product teams. We're talking about how fast you can get answers, how much it's all going to cost, and who can even get their hands on this kind of research in the first place. First up, let's talk about the traditional consulting timeline. If you want a full-blown market analysis, you are looking at a 10 to 12-week project. Think about that. That's basically an entire quarter of the year gone, just waiting for an answer to your question. Now, hold on and compare that to the AI research model. The same kind of deep user insights, you can get them in just 3 to 4 hours. I mean, not weeks, not days, hours. You could have the answers you need by the time you get back from lunch. The difference here is just, wow, it's staggering. And, of course, time isn't the only thing that's different. Let's talk money. A single one-off project with a big consulting firm can easily set you back $200,000. And honestly, it's often way more. This isn't just a small expense. It's a massive budget item that needs all kinds of approvals. The new model just flips this on its head. Instead of that giant per-project fee, it's subscription-based. This changes the entire economic equation. It makes research something that's not just accessible for one giant project a year, but for continuous, everyday use. So what's really cool is when you see why there's such a massive difference. The traditional process has weeks of just kickoff and planning, then 6 to 8 weeks of manual research, all before you even get to the delivery. But the AI process, it's built for pure speed. A quick 30-minute setup, a few hours of automated interviews, and boom, instant analysis. The old way is a marathon. The new way is a sprint. So yeah, those numbers are pretty dramatic, but what does all this actually mean in the real world? Let's walk through a scenario. Imagine a software company trying to decide if they should enter a new market. This is a big bet, a decision that could easily cost them $500,000 just in development. All right, so if they follow the traditional path, they spend that $200,000 on a consulting report. They wait 10 weeks, they get this huge slide deck that says, go for it, and then they spend the next 6 months building the product. But when they finally launch, crickets. The demand just wasn't there like the report said it would be. Okay, let's hit rewind and try the alternative path. In week 1, they use an AI tool to test that initial idea. The findings come back in just a few hours. User demand looks pretty weak. But see, instead of a disaster, this is an absolutely critical insight. So in week 2, they test a slightly different angle, a new positioning, and bam, they find a pocket of really strong demand. Now they can build a product they know people actually want. And this right here shows you the real impact. By being able to test and pivot before they committed all those resources, the company avoided a $700,000 mistake. That's the consulting fee plus the huge development costs. The bottom line is this: speed gives you agility. Now, look, this doesn't mean traditional consulting is dead, not at all. It's not about one being good and the other bad. It's about understanding that these are two different tools designed for very, very different jobs. The real key is knowing when to use which one. This chart really gets to the heart of it. For most product teams, like 90% of their research needs are for those everyday decisions. You know, things like, is this new feature valuable? Is our pricing clear? How do people feel about this new design? Only a tiny slice, maybe 10%, are those massive bet-the-company strategic questions. So when do you call in the big guns, the consultants? You do it for those irreversible, $10 million plus bets. You do it when you need that third-party seal of approval for your board or for your investors,
or when a project needs really complex financial modeling and you need a partner to help you implement it for the long haul. These are the high-stakes moments where the old model still makes a ton of sense.
And for everything else, for that massive 90%, well, that's where AI research is a perfect fit. We're talking about validating features before you write a line of code, mapping out user journeys, testing pricing options, checking concepts. These are the things that modern product teams need to do all the time, and for that, you need a tool that's built for speed and continuous use. All of this really builds to a final and maybe the most important point. This isn't just about a new tool. It's about a whole new mindset. It's about a fundamental shift from thinking of research as a rare project to making it a daily habit. This quote from a product leader just captures that old mindset perfectly. Research was a big, expensive, slow project. So teams would save up all their big questions for a quarterly engagement, but by the time the answers finally came back months later, the market had already moved on. The opportunity was gone. It was just too slow and reactive. And here's the after state. This is the transformation. With accessible, fast tools, research stops being this big event, and it becomes a habit. It's not something you do once a quarter anymore. It's just part of how you work every single week. It becomes proactive, continuous, and baked right into how you make decisions. So if you're going to remember one thing, it's this. Traditional consulting was built for big quarterly strategic projects. AI platforms are built for daily research habits. One was designed for a world of slow, deliberate strategic planning. The other is built for the fast, agile world that we all live in now. And that really brings us to the final question, the one you should be asking your own team. When you need answers about your users, is it a major, infrequent event that you have to plan and budget for months in advance? Or is it a simple, repeatable habit that's just part of how you build amazing products every single day? The answer to that question could change everything.